Hi, welcome to my totally legit K-pop news show. My name is Angelina and I've decided to bring this show back to what it was originally supposed to be. Talking shit about K-pop news. I admittedly put a lot of pressure on myself in previous shows to bring you the top trending news as it's happening, and I just felt like I could never keep up, so the only logical thing to do from that point on forward was to just not do anything at all. Sob story aside, I'm really excited to be back this week and hopefully every Sunday from now on. But let me know what you think, because sometimes some weeks are just really slow and there's really not much to talk about. This week, to recapitulate everything that has happened, I wanted to talk about Trisha Paytas becoming an ARMY. Not the military kind. The Kawaguchi Yurina and Huening Bahiyih TikTok drama, where Yurina's account apparently liked a comment about Huening Bahiyih. What we hope to be closure on the whole Jamie and Jae thought situation. Hybe, JYP and YG Entertainment all set to be debuting. All set to be debuting new girl groups, and I'd love to talk a little bit of smack about that. Less affair. So if you're interested in these subjects, or maybe only one or two of these subjects, please keep on watching and feel free to skip through this video as it's separated into super fancy segments. But before we get started, don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with friends you don't have. Let's talk about the Kawaguchi Yurina and Huening Bahiyih situation that happened and try to make sense of it, because honestly, when I first heard about this, I was really confused. For a little bit of backstory, both of them appeared on Mnet's Girls Planet 999, with Huening Bahiyih making it to the final lineup of Kepler. So basically, from what I understand, it seems Yurina's TikTok account liked a specific comment. And this comment talked about Bahiyih getting harassed. And the translation apparently said the following. Yurina, did you know that your fans messaged to change Bahiyih's position for you on the last night of GP 999? Some cursed Bahiyih to D-word. From what I can understand, it seems the comment was liked and then the like was removed. From there, it seems hashtag apologize Yurina was trending and people were demanding for at least a statement. Some were quick to point out that it was actually her management that runs her account, some saying that they actually just like any comment. But others responding that it doesn't really matter, that it's inappropriate to have liked such a comment to begin with. And frankly, if you run your accounts based on just liking any comments, there's a lot of potential for something bad to happen. After this, however, we did get some clarifications from the OP. They basically say that there was a big misunderstanding, that the comment was mistranslated. It was apparently never meant to be hateful towards anyone, but rather a call to end toxic fan behavior. Many think you support this action, even though you must be sad to be treated like that. I know it's not your responsibility, but only you can stop your fans. I did want to point that out because I want to discuss that a little bit later. Some might argue that the content of the comment wouldn't matter at all if the company is simply just liking any comment that they come across, which in and of itself would be incredibly problematic. I personally can't read or understand the original comment to begin with, so I would just take any translation with a grain of salt. So this whole thing does seem like it was a misunderstanding, that Yurina's account did like a comment, but that the comment was taken out of context by fans. That seems to be the issue here. In terms of an apology, none was given as of now. However, again, it seems the staff did pin a comment explaining that they were the ones running the accounts, but if you do go to the comments, they're disabled right now. But I would love to know if you think this is something that even warrants an apology, or do you think people blew it out of proportion? Do you think it was simply an accident, or do you think it was neglectful? Let me know in the comments down below. As for the rest of my commentary on this, it is exactly that. It's commentary. It's just my opinion, how I feel about accidentally liking things. I personally think instances where something was liked and then that like was removed are definitely instances where people should be given more leniency, right? I would give that person the benefit of the doubt. Because the original issue at hand was that some people were angry at Yurina for liking that comment because it seemed like she was in support of harassment towards someone else, when really it was clarified that that was not really the case. Scrolling through videos, I've accidentally liked so many of them. I've accidentally liked comments just scrolling through them. Sometimes I'll even reply to a YouTube comment and somehow I've accidentally replied to the wrong comment. So for me, if something was liked and then the like was removed, I don't consider that a reflection of how anyone actually feels, because I myself understand what it's like to be in that situation. Second of all, this brings up a very important conversation on whether or not idols are responsible for what their fans are doing. it can be incredibly awkward to go up to an idol and tell them your fans are being incredibly mean to somebody that I like. Young people on the internet are acting like fools, and I'm making it your responsibility to act like their parents and force them to stop. I just don't know how appropriate that really is. And keep in mind, I used to feel the opposite way. I used to get really mad at idols for not speaking out more, because in my head, all an idol had to do was say, you guys are acting a little bit out of line. I'm gonna need you to reel it in. People are going to continue to do what they do because there's no repercussions. So let me know what you think. Do you think idols should take more responsibility for things like this because fans are more likely to listen to them? Do you think companies should address online hate more? Or do you think, in this very unlikely scenario, that social media companies should have more consequences for users that abuse their sites? Which they would never do. I'd love to know your thoughts. Let's move on to Jamie and Jae. I'll give you guys a little bit of a recap because I was sick with bronchitis and I wanted to cover this, but it was just not gonna happen. Essentially, Jae, former member of Day 6, I know some people are gonna correct me saying he's still a member of Day 6, but you know, he did leave his company, and honestly, I'm going to need these 4th gen groups to like really decide if they're disbanded or not. Oh, but we're still together though. Some of you need to make up your minds. Anyways, he was live streaming, and within that live stream, you know, he prefaced his statement by saying now that he's not under a K-pop company, he's just gonna go ahead and say this, and then he called his friend Jamie a thought. It was very uncomfortable to watch. He then, of course, got called out and eventually apologized, basically admitting that he didn't fully understand what the word meant, and he thought it was more similar to baddie. And Jamie herself even commenting on the situation, being upset about it, understandably so. But we have now what I think is going to be the final update on the situation, as Jamie herself released the following statements on Twitter. Jae came by the other day, we had a talk, and he apologized for his words and mistake. If anyone knows about Jae as a friend or close person, you would know he wasn't meaning that as what he said. He promised me he would use his words wisely, and I appreciate it. Continuing by saying that this is a wake-up call for him in his future, and she hopes he goes in the right direction. And as a friend, I wanted him to know this is something he needs to rethink and put in action. I told him everything about how I felt, and he felt awful about it. Finishing off by addressing the fans who also got hurt, that he wanted to let everyone know he won't make the same mistake or joke about something like that again. Quote, that's what friends are for, right? Ending off by adding him and saying, I'ma smack you if you do it one more time. What a beautiful lesson in forgiveness, but also probably why K-pop companies monitor when their idols go live. Were you ever fooled into thinking that when your idols go on V-Live, that they're completely alone? Granted, maybe sometimes they are, but I feel like in some instances, you think your idols are on V-Live just by themselves, but then there's a random moment where they turn the camera and there's like 5 staff members in front of them and you're like, oh, I thought, what? You know, there's a reason for that. Imagine hearing an idol's every thought. It might not pan out very well. Let's move on to my little segment that I like to call whack-ass things I found on Stan Twitter and or Instagram and or TikTok. Now, this channel doesn't usually venture into the mainstream news, shall we say, but I think it's kind of fun when it does. I like to keep up sometimes, you know? So, my friend sent me this TikTok about Trisha Paytas, and, you know, let's take a look at it. Announcing the next fandoms I'm invading. ARMY. Go butter! She then goes on to name like other fandoms. I don't really know what she's talking about. Now, I don't personally follow Trisha Paytas, but I do like to dabble into their shenanigans sometimes. All that to say, I don't actually believe they're going to become an ARMY, but I can only imagine what the comment section looks like, and that's what I wanted to take a look at. Am I the only one who thought she meant ARMY as in military? As an ARMY, we do not accept it. We are passing it to the FNAF fandom. Oh my god. As a representative of ARMY, we kindly decline, but we'll pass you on to the Stray Kids fandom. What did Stays do? Seriously though, what is FNAF? No, please, ARMY is actually at capacity. K-pop fans are literally throwing everyone under the bus. ARMY doesn't want you. I'm sure the ATEEZ fandom does though. So my question of the day is, which fandom would you throw under the bus to protect ARMY? All lighthearted and fun though. Let's move on to our little plagiarism corner. This is where we take accusations of plagiarism, whether they're legit accusations or just simple similarities, and I give my unsolicited opinion. So I saw this comparison of Fromus's 9 teaser for their comeback with DM versus Twice's The Feels. Now, admittedly, I couldn't find the original for From Us 9, but I'm also terrible at searching for things on Twitter. But I searched through their teasers, all of them, like the video teasers, the picture teasers, and I couldn't find this. I don't know if they deleted it. I could only find like a TikTok challenge where they open this envelope and you see the "you're invited" thing. But I digress. Both feature envelopes that open up to an invitation. We then, of course, have a similar blue theme with similar stars. More or less, I've seen people say this is a stretch, but I would love to know what you think. I mean, obviously it's similar. You can't jump around that fact. But I would love to know your thoughts. To end off this video, I thought it would be so much fun to talk about the much anticipated girl groups that are going to debut soon, or allegedly. YG's in this list. So maybe 2023. But yes, it seems that Hybe, JYP, and YG Entertainment are all set to debut new girl groups quite soon. And I found this article that talks about this. It's a Naver article, so it's obviously in Korean, but we got Google Translate. So first we have a girl group from Hybe, the agency of BTS, so we can expect 3 girl groups from them and their subsidiary labels. The first is apparently Minheejin's girl group. The second is from Source Music, and this one is interesting because it's going to center ex-IZ*ONE members. You know, we already have some solos from ex-IZ*ONE members. We have Wonyeon and Yujin, who are in IVE already. So I'm definitely excited to see what the other members are going to be up to. But here's the thing, okay, guys? The name of the group is apparently going to be Le Seraphim. I'm sorry. When I hear that name, I think about this book I read where the main character's name was Séraphin. Le Seraphim? Seraphim? But hey, it's a random ass name and I'm on board. Here's the thing. K-pop names have become stale. aespa sounds like Vespa. I literally can't think of it. That was my one example. I'm definitely intrigued to find out the meaning. I'm really hoping that each letter stands for something really fun. Music Boys live in absolute quality? Yes, please. Then lastly, we have Belief Lab, who will debut a group through the audition program Island 2. From there, we have JYP, who will, of course, debut their 7-member girl group. But this group's name is NMIX. Mix. I don't fucking know. Doesn't that remind you of that MLM cult or whatever? Nixium? Now, if you don't recall, for this group, actually, JYP released last year, I think, their album already. Not that they released it, but you could pre-order it without even knowing who is in the group, without even hearing the song. You could pre-order it. So you basically had to put all of your faith in the fact that you might like this group. And I feel like a lot of people do that. I remember one of the surprising things about aespa, even before they debuted, was that they had a bunch of fan accounts. People were ready to stan them without even hearing any of their songs. So this is kind of the same gist, except you're willing to spend a considerable amount of money on their debut album without even knowing who they are, without even ever hearing their songs. I thought the concept was interesting. Interesting is the key word. But I would never do that. And especially, I think it was like July last year. I think that's what it says. So much can happen in that amount of time. What if you stop standing K-pop? What if you don't? Then, of course, lastly, we have the rumors of YG's new girl group. We've been hearing about this for so long. I keep hearing about Baby Monster, and my first thought is always, who the fuck would name their group Baby Monster? But I'm on board now. Like I said, K-pop group names are still as hell. I don't care. Baby Monster, I'm on board. That sounds fun. For YG, though, this would be their first debut of a girl group in 6 years, which seems a little bit typical for YG, though it does seem like a long time, right? But if we remember back when Blackpink debuted, I think it had been, again, 6 or 7 years since a debut, with 21, of course. But it's gonna be like a weird feeling, don't you think, to have 2 YG girl groups at the same time? We were never afforded that. But yeah, 6 years. They really like to let them simmer a little bit. According to the article, the group's debut date and member composition are veiled. As YG registered its trademark with the Korean Intellectual Property Office, it is expected that Baby Monster will be the group's name. So let me know in the comments down below, what do you expect from these groups? What are your predictions? I don't know what to think. I don't know what to expect. My prediction is lip syncing. Bye. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry my voice is still a little strained. I thought I was completely cured. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with friends you don't have. And you can join my channel members by clicking the join button next to the subscribe button. These are the lovely individuals who help support my channel on a monthly basis. It honestly means the world to me. As for me, I'm gonna get going, but I will see you guys next time. Bye!